Hey, I'm Chris Zepp from Make Everything, and today, by popular request, we're going to make one of these swivel non-marking vices. This was something I brought up in my last video, and a lot of people asked for it, so I went and I picked up the parts. It's about $25 worth of stuff, and I'll show you how to make one of these. Check it out. So the premise behind this thing is you've basically got a swivel vise and then a screw wood clamp, and we're just going to kind of Frankenstein them together to make a really useful tool for the shop. So here we got an 8-inch hand screw clamp and a articulated vacuum vise, and both of these are from Harbor Freight. You don't need to get these from Harbor Freight. You could get them on Amazon or from any other tool store, but Harbor Freight has sort of the best prices for this local to me. This is about 16 bucks and this is $6.99, I believe. So you're looking at under $25 for the whole thing, and it's well worth it. So let's break into this and get started. So the first thing I'm going to say about these articulated vices, I have a couple of these from different brands. This is a suction base. The idea is that you turn this little lever here and it's supposed to suction down. These are horrible. I've never had one that worked worth a damn. So we're going to immediately just remove that, and we're going to make this just screw right down to either a piece of plywood or right to the bench. So let's get to taking this thing apart. So you're going to see in there's a little clip on a rod. So we're just going to get a needle nose pliers in there and pull that clip out, and that'll free up the whole mechanism, and the whole rubber bottom will just pop right off. So I got that cotter pin out. There's some grease on this thing. Now it's on my hands, but so there's the suction base. That's gone. Now we just have this. The other part we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking apart the head of this. Now, we don't have to do anything involving this ball port, but to get better access to this, we are going to take this off. So there's a little Allen's key screw right here. We're going to take that off. We're going to remove the ball from the bottom of this ball and socket joint. On this particular one, it's a 3mm Allen key. So that's gone. These parts come off. And now we have the bottom of the vise. These are flathead screws. We're just going to pull these off. So now we're left with this vise head, and what's actually nice about this is that if you have other small vices, this vise comes with these little rubber soft jaws. So now you can put these on another vise if you want, or if you wanted to really utilize this again, you could make a base plate for this out of a piece of steel or even a piece of wood, and you could have a little bench mounted vise using this head. So don't throw this out. And keep the screws, because I don't know what thread this is, and it might be hard to match, some sort of Chinesium. So we'll put this aside. So now we're left with this post, and we're going to have to mount this post to the wood screw clamp. So I want to position this sort of right in the middle of these two things, the two screw posts that are in the clamp. The issue is that this head needs somewhere to go, so we're actually going to wind up drilling 5 holes in this. The first one's going to be like a 1/2 inch hole right in the center, And then we're going to pilot 4 holes on the sides, and we're just going to use some wood screws to hold that on there. So let's do that. Now normally I would do this on the drill press, but I'm kind of trying to make this as sort of DIY friendly as I can, and I want to use stuff that everybody probably has. So not everybody has a drill press, so I'm just going to use a regular hand drill. This hole in the center doesn't have to be too precise, but you'll see it is mushroomed out, so I am going to kind of rotate the drill bit to try and account for that. You can see here the way that rotating out that drill with the drill bit spinning gave me sort of a conical hole. It's not pretty, but we're going to hide it. So now that we got this hole drilled, we're going to take this post. It's going to sit on there nice and flat, and we're just going to mark out 4 spots with a pencil to pre-drill. And we're going to want to pre-drill in this because this is likely maple. It's usually a harder wood, and it's close to the edges over here, and it might split out. So we're just going to grab a small piloting bit, something to get us started. Get that 1/2 inch bit off. And here I've got some 8x3/4 Phillips head sheet metal screws. These will do it. Put that on there. Take these screws. And I'm just using the drill to kind of set these in there faster, and then we'll snug them up. Snug these up by hand. All right, so now put this thing back together. So we're going to put the universal joint parts back on. This is going to go back the way it came, like that. We're going to take our 3mm Allen key, just tighten that up. Got some sawdust in the base. Now we could put this back on if you wanted to use a clamp to hold this down, but I want to drill holes in the feet of this so that we can just use screws and screw this thing right down to the bench or to a piece of plywood. I'm just marking out some rough spots, and I'm just going to go right at it with a 3/16 drill bit. Now this is cast aluminum. This will drill pretty easily, but it's going to be a little difficult to start, so I'm going to have to kind of start from an angle and just start slow. I got 3 holes in this. I can screw this down to a piece of scrap wood and we can clamp it down. And these 1¼ inch. These are lath screws. I like to use these because they have this like nice big head on them. And these will go through there. And then I got some 3/4 inch plywood that these will go into. So make a nice little base. So now we got a nice wooden base that this can be clamped down to the table, or I can screw this base down to the table. We can take our assembly and screw that down. And you're done. So the application for this is nice. I mean, for me as a knife maker, I can take a knife and I can clamp it in here. It's a little hard to do with one hand. It's a lot easier to do with two. But I can clamp a knife blade in there. I can work on the back. I can tilt it. I can do whatever. And, you know, as a woodworker, you know, what's nice about one of these screw clamps is that in a vise, you can really over tighten things. But in a screw clamp, it's really hard to mark anything up. So you can grab odd shapes. You can grab sort of weird stuff at weird angles. You know, you can get kind of a good enough grip on stuff and move it around. Having one of these in your shop is absolutely worth it. The vise part cost me 16 bucks. The clamp cost me $7. So you're looking at $23 for the whole thing. And you get this extra vise head out of it, which you could do something with. So I think it's absolutely worth it. Quick little project, takes only a little bit of time, and you'll use it on more projects than you ever thought of before you had it. If you're looking for links to buy a vise like this, the vise or the clamp, other than at Harbor Freight, I put some links in the description that show where you can get this stuff on Amazon, so check that out. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, I'm Chris Zett from Make Everything. If you're interested in more stuff like the vise and more tools around the shop, please leave me a comment. I got plenty of little sort of hacks like this that I've done around the shop, and I'd love to show them off if people want to see them. I'm also thinking about doing sort of a shop tour here. We got 3,000 square feet, and there's a lot of cool stuff to show. So again, if you're interested, leave me a comment, give me some suggestions, tell me what you want to see. This was a fun little project to make. Another one, this one that I showed in the first video, I've been using for probably 6 years, and not much has changed in the Harbor Freight vise, but you know, now I have two of these. I want to say thank you to everybody for subscribing. We just passed 10,000 subscribers here on YouTube, and it's a huge milestone for me. I really am looking forward to bringing more content to you guys, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate all the support and all the comments and feedback that I've gotten. If you're looking for more behind the scenes stuff in terms of what we do at the shop, follow us on Instagram at Make Everything Shop. If you want any Make Everything gear, shirts, hats, some of the knives I make, check out our web store in the link below. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.